Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Nathan and I'm a 5th year medical student at UCL. This is my 7th vlog, and in this vlog we'll be speaking to a number of international students studying in the UK to learn a bit more about their time here in the UK and any sort of funny stories that they have and advice they have for any of you who are considering studying in the UK, whatever subject that may be. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start by having these students that I have with me today introducing themselves and telling you a bit more about who they are.
My name is Ibrahim and I like people to call me Ibra. I've been here in London almost 4 years and something, and I am doing my PhD at Birkbeck University of London in Finance and Accounting.
So my name is Sabina and I am from Bogota, Colombia, in South America. I am a designer that after 3 years of working experience decided to apply to Central St. Martin's, which is one of the best universities for creative industries in the world. And here I am with a scholarship, and right now I am studying a master's degree in innovation management.
Hi, I'm Diana. I'm a first year PhD student at King's in studying biophysics, and I come from Romania.
Great. So maybe if you could just share your first impressions of arriving in London when you came to study and whether you had any sort of fears about moving here to the UK.
Okay, so the first impression when I came first to London was once I came to the airport. So I took a taxi back to my accommodation here, and what was interesting for me is how green is there, or like there's like a massed spaces, green spaces in London, around London, if I want to compare that to Damascus. So yeah, this is what something like impressed me at the beginning. Second thing is about worries. I think it's not kind of worries, but I was feeling that how it would be coming to a country like the UK. So, but after you enter the airport and you go out and you start talking to people, all your worries dissolve.
Being in London is the best thing I've ever done in my life. Not only because the university is really great, as I said before, the professors are amazing and the cohort is really smart and fun to be with, but because this amazing city embraces so many cultures, and that's what I like the most. Although I'm trying to learn how to like English breakfast and porridge, but really to have Indian, Nepali, Mexican, etc. cultures, it's amazing. I can go for a walk, 10 minutes walk, and then find every kind of food. That's great. And of course the people.
So let's see, I first came into the UK in London, more specifically for my undergrad in 2016, so like 5 years ago. I remember it felt like a really big jump, simply because I myself am not from the capital city of Romania. I'm from a smaller city, and coming to a capital was a huge step, and then coming to a capital of a big empire was an even bigger one. So I was just shocked about how many people are everywhere, about the diversity and all the things that you can actually do in London. Like, I would never picture that I could go like to the opera just by walking 10 minutes and then just switch and say, you know what, I can go to the shopping district or something like that. I didn't have these possibilities back home. Furthermore, I think at uni itself, what impressed me a lot was how much resources the universities have over here. Like back home, I remember when I had to go for some practicals from my high school to certain universities, we would have to share equipment and be careful to reuse it, whereas here they have plenty of equipment, and if something goes bad, it's not the end of the world.
Okay, so while studying in London, has there been any sort of funny incidents that come to mind that you would like to share with the viewers?
So I think if I want to talk about a funny thing is like when I came first, it is at the airport still. I think it wasn't a problem if I was from Australia or Japan, maybe in India, I'm not sure. But when I got the taxi first, I was confused by which door to open because the driver sits in a different way where I used to sit when I was in my country. So at the beginning, I went to his door, and then he said, "No, that other door." So that was like funny. Another thing was all the way to the accommodation. I was holding the seat like this because I was feeling that we will collide with other car because I'm not used to driving on the other side of the street. So that was like really a funny thing for me.
I do have a very funny story. It was about my first night here in London and my arrival to the residence. So I was in the front desk, and the guy who was doing the night shift because it was midnight asked me, "How are you?" And I told him like I am overwhelmed, happy, excited, but sad. Of course, I was leaving my family, my house, my boyfriend, and I said like 10 different words, and the guy was like and right now I know how he must have been feeling, so like someone oversharing her personal life. And I think now it's cute because it's about cultural differences, and we as Colombians we tend to overshare. And that particular night I was so vulnerable that I was like just talking and talking and talking.
Well, a funny story I think is the fact that I've been studying English since I was like 7. So when I came here in the UK I was 19, so I studied 12 years, and nothing, absolutely nothing prepared me to just sit in a lecture hall and try to understand people with really strong accents such as Scottish, Irish, and even French. Like I was so lucky that those lectures were recorded so that I could go back and watch them again to sort of decipher what the lecturer was trying to get across. And another thing is like trying to guess your herbs at Sainsbury's. Like I usually cook with a lot of herbs because that's how the cuisine is back home, and I never realized I didn't know the names and that they were not actually similar at all between Romanian and English.
Fantastic. Well, that was really interesting to hear. So maybe if we could just finish off by hearing any advice that you have for the viewers about coming to study in the UK.
So my advice, don't come to London. I'm just kidding. It's really nice. I mean, UK is a nice country. London is a pretty city. So I think that the best thing to do once you have decided to come to London is to do your research, be familiar with Oyster card, because for example in my situation I took a taxi and it wasn't necessary, it's like really costly, so maybe I could have taken the tube to London, but I wasn't familiar. So do your study, try to understand where you're going, try to familiarize yourself with the tube. Everybody has the first time is always difficult, so you will have the first time whatever you will do, whether you are still in the airport or like after 2 or 3 days. So it's better you take that from the airport directly. So do your studies, familiarize yourself with Oyster card. London is pretty, you will love the city.
Okay, my advice for the people who are thinking to come here to study is don't be lazy. Apply for every single scholarship that you can, because London is a great city and the university here are the best, but it is a very expensive city. So be sure that you try to get a scholarship, and if you don't have it, it's okay, but at least you know you tried, and also the experience is totally worth it, but it helps a lot to not having to overthink every single moment about money.
So a piece of advice that I want to offer is based actually from my own experience. When I first came to London, I was quite closed, like introverted. I didn't really want to explore London or the community around me. I thought that I came here just for the sole purpose of getting my degree and then carry on with my life. But as time passed, I realized that you grow so much more and you develop more as a person if you actually go out, talk, meet people, and see whatever is happening around you. So that's what I would advise people to sort of seize the day and try to explore as much as they can, because time flies, time is really short, and if you can make the most out of London, I bet no one will ever regret it.
So that concludes the 7th vlog. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please hit the subscribe button down below. See you on the next vlog.